Welcome to the channel. Today's video I'm working on this Polo Vivo 6S. It's a 2012 year model. We bought a whole set of Monroe shocks, front and rear, and then shock top mounts for the front that we're going to be replacing as well. Let's jump right in. I'm going to start with the front, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack up the whole right side of the car so I can do front right and rear right at the same time, and then I'll go across to the left side. I have put chocks around the rear left wheel so the car shouldn't move. Let's jack it up, take wheel off. You can just whiz off the wheels now. Now that I've got the wheel off, I can see the shock. The sway bar link, I need to loosen that. That's a 17 over there. I'm not going to loosen the bottom because I'm just going to take it out and lean it forward. I need to take the brake lines off the shock here, so that's pulling this clip off, and then you're able to remove the brake lines. And then in the bonnet, you got to go through the bonnet. At the top is the shock top mount, which is 21 with an Allen key in the middle, but I'll show you the trick for that. There's the top of the shock, it's a 17, and then there's a 7mm Allen key in the middle, which sometimes you need to hold to release the nut. So if it doesn't work with your impact or like a ratchet, you can use a 21 tube socket that has the hex on the back, and then you stick the tube socket over and you stick an Allen key through, and then you hold the Allen key tight and loosen that with the tube socket and a spanner. I've just got 21 on my impact. It's on low power, so let's see if I can get this off. That came off very easy. I'm going to have to jack up that front side as well, so I'll take that trestle out and put it that side, and then I've got another set of two different trestles that I'll put at the back, so I'll have to jack the whole car up. So I'm just going to put this in here to hold so it doesn't come out. I've got all four wheels off the ground and car is completely on trestles. The front trestles are slightly bigger than the rear trestles, so I've put them there to get me a little bit more clearance here to work. Now I can take the sway bar link out. These look a bit worn, so I might need to replace those. There's the brake line out and the ABS sensor out. Okay, that shock is loose at the top. Now I'll show you now on the back here is there's a multi-spline on the back here with a 19, so I need to loosen that now as well. Or M14 multi-spline this side, and then this side is a 19. I probably should have put some penetrating oil, but I didn't think of that. I only thought of that now. So I'm going to spray some in between the shock and the hub so that can soak a little bit. Just going to use some WD-40. I'm going to do the other side now as well. Okay, the penetrating spray has had some time now. Now I need to get here in between here and this side with this unit. It's called a hub spreader. I bought it online. I'll put the link below. So basically I put the hub spreader in there, I tighten it up, which then spreads the hub, which allows me to pull the shock out of the hub. To get the hub spreader in, I've had to turn the steering full to the left so that it allows me to get in here, because otherwise the drive shaft is in the way. Okay, the spreader's in, and there you can see I'm able to sort of move the shock. I think I might need to loosen this tie rod end so that I can actually get the hub further away. I just gave it a tap with a hammer and I managed to get the steering knuckle out, or tie rod end. So now the hub is a little bit freer. It makes it a lot easier to loosen these 3 bolts here. They're 16mm, and that takes the lower ball joint off the control arm. One of the things I recommend is if you don't have a 16, get one before you start, because it made the job so much easier to take that off. Okay, there we go. There the hub is separate from the lower control arm. Now I can get the shock out. There, my hub tool just knocked out, so I'm gonna have to just put that back in. The hub spreader. There we go. Shock is out. I'm just gonna put this back up so that it's not hanging on the brake lines and that. Okay. Now that I got the shock out of the hub, it's looking a bit ugly inside there, so I'm just going to use some Brillo pad to just clean up inside. I bought this shock compression tool online, so let's see how this works to take up the tension on the shock, on the spring, so that I can take the shock out. Never used this one before, so keen to see how it works. There we go, top mount off. There's that bolt. I'm going to keep the spring under compression. I'm just going to take this . Let me open the shocks and see what I need out the new ones. Okay, so here's a new one. Okay, that's not going to work. This needs to go first. I'm going to grease up the new, well not grease, I'm going to use silicone paste on the new shock top mounts before I put them on. There's the new bearing piece and the shock top, and the actual rubber shock top mount. Goes like that. The new nut that came with the shocks is actually a different size, so I need to grab that one quickly and then I can continue tightening that up. Perfect explanation of what I was trying to tell you earlier in the bonnet. There's an Allen key there, and to tighten the nut. So now what's happening is, as I'm turning, the shaft in the shock is turning. So I need a 22 spanner to hold that, and then I need the Allen key. My bad, it's actually a 6mm Allen key, not a 7. Okay, another plan. That 6mm Allen key is not actually helping me, so I'm going to use this 6mm Allen key to push against the bar there as I'm tightening, so that I can hold and make sure that the shock is going in to the top bearing. There we go. Shock. Brand new shock. Brand new shock. Old spring. And there's the old top mount. I'm just gonna put the new top mount on top here. It's nice and lubed up. I just used, as I said, some silicone paste. Now I can put this in. Okay, I've put the hub back down. I'm making sure that it's not hanging on the brake lines or the ABS sensor. I don't want to damage any of that. Now I can put the shock in. Shock is all the way in the hub. I can put that locating bolt back in. I'm actually going to clean this up before I put it back in. It's full of sand and stuff, you can see. Okay, I've cleaned the bolt. I just used a wire brush, so I can put that through and put the nut on. That's tight. Now I can put the sway bar link back in. I do need to replace this, but I'm going to put it back for now because I don't have new ones at the moment, so I'll have to get in the week. Shops are closed. The lines can go back in. There and there. Then I just got to put that locking piece back in. Okay, that's in, that's tight. Everything here is tight. I just got to tighten the top mount now. To tighten top mount, I just put this little top cap in. I can drop its nut in and hand tighten it for now. Okay, that's tight, and there's around the same amount of thread that I saw earlier. I will go and tighten that up later by hand. I just want to do the rest of the shocks before the rains come because it's getting cloudy outside. Okay, to do the rear, I need to loosen the top mount over here. That's two 17s, and then over here is a bolt that goes between the two. That's also 16 and 16. And then once you've got that out, I can take the top shock out. But one of the things you actually need to do, because the spring doesn't change, is you need to put a a jack under to push the rear leg up, because the spring is going to try pushing it down. So while you're loosening, just jack it up slightly, ever so slightly, and then you can loosen it up. As I said, just to jack it up to take the weight slightly to stop the spring from pushing it down. So just do that. Then I can loosen the top mount. Out of my 4 sets of spanners, there's no 16, so I've ended up having to use two shifting spanners on these 16s. Okay, you got to then drop the jack to allow you to get the shock out, and there I've got the rear shock out. This is just the cover on top here that I'm going to leave here so that I remember to put it back on. This shock has got like a little flat tab on top and also a 16, so same story. I have to use a shifting because I don't have a 16 spanner, and I wish I had known that before starting, so I could have gone and bought, but Mrs. has taken my car, so oh well, shifting it is. And there's the old shock. Yeah, see, it's not coming back. So, finished. Let's grab a new one. Okay, shock top mount. I just gave a bit of a rinse quickly, just to clean it up. You can take the, see this one, it pushes out immediately. Ah, it's hard. And there you can see it's pushing out. So, this one's obviously working. Now what I absolutely love is this nut is not a 16, this nut's a 17. And I have got 17 offset spanners, so I can tighten this up now. That's perfect, it's tight. There's the new shock. Let's reinstall. To reinstall, same process, just in reverse. So I'm just going to put this little cap back on, or cover. Then I can put it up under the car. Locate the, let me change this angle. Don't know if you can see better now, but then locate the the lower bolt, then I can jack it up. Tighten that up quickly. Yeah, I've jacked it up, so you can see the holes have aligned there and there, just to put the bolts in now. Let's get the wheels back on. Putting a bit of copper slip just so that they don't seize, so it's easier to get on and off next time. Now to do the other side. As you can see, car's back on the ground. I've torqued the wheels, it's all sorted. I've taken it for a spin. Feels so much better, so much more stable. It's not as bouncy as it used to be, and that's just thanks to the new shocks. A couple things I've learned doing this: definitely get a 16mm socket and spanner. If you don't have, all of my sets don't have, so I'm definitely going to get. A lot of the suspension nuts and bolts on this car in particular, I don't know the others, is a 16mm. So if you're going to attempt this on your car, definitely get the hub spreader. That little hub spreader tool, I'll leave a link in the description below. So it made it so much easier to get the shocks out of the hubs in the front here. Definitely do that. The spring compressor. The one I have is a little bit iffy. It's a bit difficult to get it set up because obviously your springs, the coils run at an angle, they're not flat, and my spring compressor's flat. So maybe get two separate ones, I don't know. That would come down to you. Use penetrating oil. As soon as you get the wheels off, spray penetrating oil on all the bolts and that you're going to be working with, whether it be WD-40 or Q20. And then the last thing I learned is definitely set half a day to a day aside. It took me a lot longer than I expected, but once I'd got the first wheel sorted, the second wheel was a lot easier. Same thing at the back. I knew exactly what to do, and it was a lot easier to get done. I started at about 9 o'clock in the morning and I finished just after 1, so it took a couple hours, but ran into a couple roadblocks here and there, but managed to get it sorted. So thank you so much for watching the video all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It is free and it helps grow the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and as you can see, I'm getting close, getting there. If there was something that you noticed that I could have done differently or didn't do, let me know in the comments below. Until the next video.